On. Okay, we are live. I'm gonna put the camera to myself first and then I'll put it to y'all. Alrighty guys, how are y'all doing today? My name is Chastity. I am the host of Midnight Love BET, and today we are going live with the multi-platinum R&B group Divine. And I'm going to switch my live to the ladies. I'm going to turn it right now. All right. How you ladies doing today?
All right.
Awesome.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much, ladies, for going live with me. Before we get started, I want to kind of like introduce yourself and where you're from, and just talk about, well, first, and then we're gonna congratulate y'all today because today is the 22nd anniversary of the debut single Lately. So excited, yay! And also, just introduce yourself and where you're from, and then we'll just start from there and just go on.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Nikki. I'm from Jersey.
I'm Kia. I'm from Inglewood, New Jersey.
And I'm Tanya. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. BK, Jersey. All right, in the house. Okay. All right. We're going live. Okay. And so, ladies, so just to get started, just talking about your success and everything, I want to know how did you ladies get your love for singing and the artists that you looked up to? Who were artists that you looked up to, and how did you form yourself in the group Divine? Somebody want to start?
That one?
Okay. Well, the artist that I look up to, or I did look up to, and still do, as an adult, but as a child, I started off with Whitney Houston. Of course, I was just one of those little girls with the hairbrush in the mirror, like almost all of us that wanted to be this famous singer. And I just practiced in the mirror, belting, learning how to just sustain long notes. And I wasn't that much of a riffer, with all the runs and things like that and vocal acrobatics. But Whitney was my girl. And then, of course, Monica, coming out at the tender age of 14, someone I could totally relate to, and looking at her and saying, man, this can really happen. Like, you don't have to be, in your 20s or 30s to get out there and be famous and share your gift. Like Monica was doing it. So I would stick with those two. There's some others as well, but they were most influential in my life.
Awesome. I have like a top 6. Right?
Oh, okay.
But I love them all for different reasons. Like, of course, Whitney Houston, right? Her power, her sound, everything about Whitney, her presentation. But I loved Aretha Franklin and Teddy Pendergrass. And let me tell you why I love them. I love the stories. I love the stories that they told in their music and how they told their stories in their music. And they were all about their ad-libs. I learned more from their ad-libs than I learned from, like, the verses, So I really, really love Aretha Franklin. Goes down as, like, top. And I've never met her, which I'm really sorry I've never met her, but she is, like, one of my top. But I would think that when I started to find my voice, Faith was it. I would say she taught me to rip. She taught me how to, like, really finesse my run, and that's when I found love in my falsetto, and then I developed this sultry sound, and kind of like Kia, what Kia went through with Monica at 14. I found that with Mary J. Blige when she came out with Real Love, and I was like, oh shoot, Real Love. When that song came on, it was like, oh, I know I could. If Mary could do it, I could do it. You know what I mean? So, and you still love her to this day. I love Mary J. Blige, and so I was writing from just like a very young age, and I remember my sister. She was like, this sounds really good, and I was doing remakes of like Lottie Dottie. You know what I mean? Like, I had the tape recorders side by side. So, I really have had a love for music since the very beginning. But I would say Aretha Franklin goes down top, and then Faith would be next for me.
That's amazing. A lot of people don't give a lot of Faith Evans credit, so I think that's really good that you talk about Faith Evans and the love that you have for her, because she really is one of the underdogs, I think, in R&B, especially 90s R&B. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Tanya, who are you look up to?
Okay, I would say Shanice Wilson. I remember they had a show back in the day called Star Search. And I remember I think I was 10, and I saw this young lady. I never saw a child sing like Patti LaBelle or like any fierce adult. And I just was like, wow, and I was never interested in singing, but when I saw her, I knew I wanted to make people feel the way she made me feel. So I did the hairbrush thing, and I was, in the project, you make too much noise, people tell you to shut up, but I couldn't wait to leave the house, and then that's when I just entered this fantasy world. I'll be in the mirror, just mimicking Shanice. And then it's like years later, I saw she actually came out with an album, and I was like, wow. And it was like, that's when I started to take singing, seriously. And then I started singing in school, and people started to know me for singing. So she planted the seed, and then I would have to say, Coco from SWV, she just watered it.
Yes.
I wanted to be Coco.
Yes.
So those are the two women that really planted the seed, and then I love everybody and appreciate, what they bring.
That's beautiful.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I just wanted to give respect to the foundation of, I believe, all of us, and that's gospel. And I've grown up in church and singing church solo. It was this lady. Her name is Margie Bird, and if she watched it, her smile will be ear to ear, and she pushed me out and was like, you can sing, and I don't care how you feel about it, you're singing a song. And so coming up in church and that foundation, where that foundation lies, is definitely church and gospel. But even before the Whitney Houstons and the Monicas, and it was just like we singing, fire shut up in my bones, like Jeremiah. Come on now. So I just had to throw that in because I know we all hear that.
Exactly. Yes, and I agree with y'all because I know a lot of people, when they listen to Lately, they feel like it's a gospel song. And so, like I said, when listening to Lately, I guess to this day, a lot of people kind of say it's like a crossover song because it hits so many genres. And I think that's really good that you start off there because a lot of people, when I watch and research a lot of artists, they talk about how gospel is like the foundation, then it goes and elevates to other genres. So I think that was really nice that you put that in there, Kia. Can somebody tell me, how did you form yourself into the group Divine? How did y'all ladies come together as a group?
Okay, so Divine was formed by a management company. They were looking for a girl group. And we were all doing our own thing. And we were all from different areas, as we already stated. And it's just like, hey, I know this girl, and I know this one. Let's bring them all together. We met at a studio in Teaneck, at Demo Wet Studio. No producer. He did a lot of great work, especially with rapper Nas and a lot of other great artists, and we met at his studio and we did our little audition there. And I think it was like history after that. I mean, it was Nikki and I first, and then we found Tanya, and that was it.
Wow! And how old were y'all when y'all actually, I guess, put together? Or what was the age group, or how y'all got to be formed Divine?
I was 14. No.
Oh wow.
15 maybe?
We got our record deals about a year after we formed the group.
Oh wow.
It was really quick. It was like that same year.
So I was like, so I may have been 13 going on 14.
And I'm right after Kia.
Yeah, so we're right after each other in age. So we were all still really young.
Okay. And so once you formed your group, how did you get, you just talked about how did you get your record in, how did you create the debut album of Fairy Tales? Like, how did y'all come to prepare for it? Did y'all start in 97 or 96 before the debut album, or how did that process start?
We started in like 90, I would say we started in like 96.
Oh wow.
We started recording 96, 97. It was the label had their own like group of people that they preferred to work with at that time, right? Mm-hmm. So we were mainly doing a lot of our recording out of Brooklyn, and we were traveling up there every chance we got, and then we hooked up with Will Baker. Mm-hmm. He was Will Baker out in Atlanta at the time? We flew out there, recording out there. We hooked up with Denzel Foster, Thomas McElroy.
He went to Atlanta. He was in Atlanta first, yeah, where he was from.
Indiana. That's right. Mm-hmm. And we went out to Oakland. We were in Oakland. Thomas McElroy and Denzel Foster. They're infamous for In Vogue. Mm. So we recorded out there with them. So just working through it all, and they helped us really develop our sound and to gel together. We rehearsed like crazy though. We rehearsed like it was like ridiculous, especially for 16 hours a day. So we had down pat. We didn't have a choice.
Right.
But to create a sound when you finally get into the studio and you record, that's something different. That's something very special. And all of the producers were able to help us do that.
Okay. So during that time, I could just talk about this. How did you ladies feel in your place in the 90s with so many girl groups coming out at the same time? Because it's like, it's you got Destiny's Child coming right after y'all. You got In Vogue and you got SWV. And I realized when I was talking to y'all, I didn't realize it too, like SWV and like Escape, they already were kind of like getting ready to dissolve versus with y'all were just starting. So with that, how did you feel like you as a girl group coming together, starting off, and then so many girl groups coming right after y'all? It was just like a boom, boom, boom. It was just like a plethora of girl groups.
Well, I have to keep it all the way real right now. So, me personally, at first, of course, you're living your dream.
Yeah.
You're super excited. It's amazing. And you're like, what? I remember riding on the bus because we rehearsed in New York, 34th Street. What was the name of the spot? Town or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, looking out the window like, yo, I got a record deal.
Yeah.
No. So, so it was really great. But then they started to form our look and, our sound started to gel. I think looking at our style and then looking at the other girl groups, I was like, I feel like somebody's mother. And I'm 15 and no. Like, right. I want to wear what you're wearing.
Right.
I want to dance like that too.
Right.
So this is how I'm feeling as a young teenager. But then we really didn't know that we were ahead of the game. So what we were doing and our style, our image, started happening with other groups later. Even Nikki mentioned earlier, such as Mary Mary, like they came out with this. And we're like, oh wait, we did that, So I learned to appreciate it and respect it, and just be,
right.
You're all right with it.
Right, you are right to be in with the girl groups because y'all stood the test of time, and so that's why I said. For me, like with girl groups, a lot of them, they come and they go, but I think with your song lately, it just did something that people and touched a lot of people's heart, and that's why today is the 22nd anniversary of Lately. I get 22 years, woo! And being that it was so successful, like, what was your reaction to how successful it became, and how did you feel when y'all hit number one? Like, what was that feeling? How did y'all feel when y'all hit number one? Because I don't know if y'all know this, but do you know that it was Radio and Records, I read an article about it. They were saying that your song was played so much. Y'all were the 4th place song of the year. Y'all actually beat Brandy and Monica when they was in rotation with The Boys Mine. So how did y'all feel when Lately, like, just hit number one?
It was just crazy. I remember just watching. I used to always watch, I think, what's it called? Midnight Love? Or something on BET. And yes. I'm just watching the TV. And then I see our video. And we must have shot it like 2 weeks ago. So I was thinking, you know, I was like, I didn't think things was going to take off so fast. And when I saw the video, I just couldn't believe it. And I'm living in Brooklyn now. And when I went to take the train to go meet with the ladies the next day, even the thugs and everybody on the street was like, and I was like, I just couldn't believe it was really happening. And then I'm going to fast forward to, the promotional tours, being on the plane with Tyrese and all these artists that we look up to. It was just like, are we really living this life? But it really hit home when we were on Howie Mandel, right, ladies?
Yeah.
And we didn't know that it had went platinum. And so, because we're so busy working, we don't get to see
the success.
The real effect, because we're so busy living out of our suitcases, flying there, and it was like he presented us with, the plaques, right? What did he? And
what's the news? Yeah.
We didn't know what was going on, but we went platinum, and I think that's been like when we was taking a limo back to the hotel. Everybody was just quiet. We usually joking and laughing, but it's like everybody was just like in a trance, like this really can't be happening.
Right.
And I remember when Kia and Nikki cried, and I just was so grateful to be a part of it with them.
Right on the Howie Mandel show, right, Tanya? Yeah. You're like, I'm proud of music.
And it
like Church music.
And and I agree. And they said y'all song was so big. Y'all beat Backstreet Boys, Quit Playing Games in My Heart. Y'all beat them too. Y'all beat a lot of people.
The song was like one of the most played songs ever, and then the video was, I think it was the top 4th played video on MTV.
Yep.
Right. So even on MTV at that time, contributed to us crossing over more into the pop world, and straddling each R&B and the hip hop world. So we were platinum before they even started playing the song in New York.
Wow.
We were like, New York, this is where we're from. So,
exactly.
We want to thrive right here.
Right.
We were already taking off, in the South and on the West Coast. So it was a really big deal for us, for sure.
Right.
And plus, and when you talked about those other girl groups, I mean, it was nothing but love on the road, But I would say we were the only group that was independent.
Wow.
Major record deals, we were signed to Pendulum Records. We were signed to Ruben Rodriguez, So it was very different. We worked our butt off. We worked.
I agree. That's real. How did it? What's crazy? How did it feel to have the rapper Trick Daddy play lately in his restaurant this year for Valentine's Day? When I seen that, ladies, I died because Trick is a hardcore rapper from Florida. And I don't know if y'all know this, but he created his restaurant not too long ago. So they had the Super Bowl actually around that time. So when he had actually, I guess, created the restaurant, on Valentine's Day, he played Lately as the theme song for the restaurant. He gave all the lady roses and stuff, and I thought that was really sweet. So how do y'all feel in 2020 to have a rapper like Trick Daddy or just people in general just play your music to this day?
It was good. I mean, it was very endearing, and to know that even now, 20 years later, someone remembers, the great music that we put out. So to see Trick Daddy out there passing our roses, I'm like, hey, Trick, hey, this kind of thing. So it was real cool, and we have nothing but love for Trick Daddy, Trina. We did a couple of venues with them actually in the South, which was really cool. We didn't get a chance to have much conversation because we were very young back then. Some of the places we shouldn't even be performing at. But just to know that it's all love, it's all music, and at the end of the day, and it's what keeps us together.
Exactly. I just was interested because I was like, out of all the people, Trick Daddy. I said Trick. Look. It was.
This reminds me, like what we were talking about a little while ago, that everyone does not really get to live their dream. They dream, and they still dream, and they just still hope, and so the fact that we were able to just go ahead and do it, and then things like Trick Daddy playing our song, it's like noble. Like, wow, but it's still a dream come true. Like, it's still happening in a sense. So it's just amazing. I was like, what?
He played the whole song. I said, Trick. I said, wait a minute. I said, He's hardcore. So for him to even play that song, I was just so excited personally because I love y'all. And for me, just listen to Lately, it's a beautiful song. Even though the lyrics talk about, you know, heartbreak and stuff like that, but it's still talking about the person that you love the most. And I think because it relates to so many people, it's just the understanding that it's still standing the test of time. And 22 years later, we're still talking about it, and it still resonated with so many people in their childhood, their high school years. You know, y'all really ladies were the staple of, you know, 90s R&B. And like I, you know, talked to y'all earlier, a lady wrote an article about 35 black women hit makers of the 90s, and y'all made that list. So for y'all to make that list, I think it just speaks that people just love 90s music, but at the same time as your music is still standing the test of time, competing with so many other girl groups. And so, you know, when that happened, I know you ladies, you know, y'all came off this big success. What happened with y'all? And, you know, what happened with your success after that? And, you know, how did it become to y'all to get disbanded? And what transpired?
Well, so that's a really good question, right? So during that time, our managers did not own the name Divine. Right?
Wow. Okay.
And it's some of the advice we would give to young people today. You really have to own your stuff, right? So, you know, with us just being teenagers, there's not much we knew about the business. You know, we were assigned to people that we relied on, and we wanted them to know enough about the business to know to at least lock down the name. So we did not own the name, and we were sued for that name. Wow. And, you know, record labels, they can bounce back from that because they have insurance for things like that, you know. But for our name, we made that name special, right? We made that name famous. So we lost the name. And that was really the start of our disbandment. So I don't even want to say that we ever disbanded because we're still together even today, as you can see. I think at that time, when they lost the name, the distribution was lost as well. So at that time, it was BMI. So where you hear songs from back in the day constantly being played, you don't hear it lately because of the distribution is not the same. Records will pull from the shelves, can't sell it anymore, stuff like that. So although we did have a situation that would have filtered into a different distribution company, we didn't go with that option. So that's what really happened. It really wasn't because we broke up or we weren't together or or anything like that. It was really because the name was not locked down the way it should be. Okay. It should have.
Right. And I do have one. I know I didn't talk about it in my questions. I noticed too with Lately, because it was such a huge hit. The song was actually sung by Samantha Mumba. Did y'all know about that with her remaking the classic Lately, y'all song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We did know.
Okay.
I don't think we didn't know right away.
We didn't know after.
But after a certain amount of time, anybody can remake a song. And I think also for the writers of that song too, it was just beneficial for them to keep that song living. You know? And
well, everybody, I'm not being shady, but everybody love y'all version better. I'm just being honest.
This is true.
I'm just being honest. Look, even though I was shocked because I didn't know that the song was remade, I actually found out the song was remade this year. I didn't know, so I thought because
I don't think we found out before it happened.
Okay.
Either way, we didn't have to say so. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, let me say this for the record. I love y'all version better. I'm just me. It's just me. I love that because it just does something to the heart for people, and I think because it's touched so many people's lives, and because y'all were a part of somebody's class graduation song, it still resonates with so much. And I do like when you said that, Nikki, about you understand about what happened with the business, because people get so caught up. And I don't know if y'all recently heard about this. There's a lot of stuff with a lot of the artists now. A lot of them are in these 360 deals they can't get out of. And I think with that, they're not understanding the business. And, luckily enough with y'all really, even though y'all were young, y'all did understand somewhat about the business, but you really are trying to give people advice to help them in the music industry when it comes to not getting, ripped off, because a lot of these people get ripped off. Remember with TLC, they got ripped off. So just that alone right there is just making people understand on how the way things are in the music industry. But I'm happy that y'all cleared it up because people really do miss y'all. Like I said, every year they play your song on Memorial Day. So Lately is always played and replayed. But, I think the thing about it is people just want to understand what happened. But I know now since you ladies are beautiful moms and everything, that happened, and I guess you kind of filled it up. Like, what is going on with your lives now? And do you have any advice to give young ladies or just young men who wants to make it in the music industry?
Nikki, want to start?
Yeah. So now I have 3 kids.
Aww.
3 old, 13 and 14, so 2 teenagers, wow. And then 2 years later, for some reason, God wanted me to have
another one.
Kicked my butt. My second one was the miracle, but I always say that at number 3, I was the miracle on that one.
Aww.
So it was a great blessing, a great surprise blessing. And today, I do some consulting today. We talked about it a little bit before, not really knowing the business. So, my goal when people come to me and they're like, Nikki, can you help me? There's so much to this business, so many different dimensions, right? So many different moving parts. There's really no one way to do it all. But, for those that I do work with, I want to make sure that, they get it right, the first time, and that, it's done with integrity, it's done ethically, they have some knowledge of what's about to happen, and then they can carry themselves on from there. Because, historically, this business is about exploiting your talents, right?
Yeah.
People want to exploit what you can do, and they want to make money off of that. And just like the TLC story, just like the New Edition story, there is a divine story, right? That's the same way they did. But I will tell you that we will never get back there again, and neither will our kids. If our kids ever decided to do something like that, they will never experience that,
Right.
So, so some of the projects that, I work on now, like I have a young guy that I have a partner, and we're consulting his career right now, and then so many others. So, it's just good right now for people who want to get out there and do it. Like, this, don't give up. You got to try. There's so many ways now to put your music out. You just have to find what vehicle is going to be best for you.
Right. Exactly.
I would say that I have three little girls, 12, 7, and 3. All girls.
Y'all got some teenagers. Look.
The middle child is the singer. The oldest is a dancer, mostly. And because she wants to be the singer, and they all want to be in the arts, we really have to stress knowing what you're getting into. Really do your research. We do a lot. We've done a lot of interviews, and we will always say, do your research. Know what you're getting into. Even if you go back to school, take some business classes.
Yeah.
Know what you're getting into, because like Nick said, New Edition, TLC, and Divine, we have a foreign too.
Yeah.
And, during and after Divine, we all went back to college. We all went to school. We all have an education. And I think that if we would have stayed out there, we still would have found a way to go to school, go to college, online. It's just, it's just a smart thing to do. Everybody doesn't have to do 4 years, but take some classes and know what you're getting into before you jump in it, because you don't want to have a New Edition, TLC, and a Divine story.
Yeah.
You want to do better. So, I would say that, which I think is amazing. So,
thank you. Oh, okay. I have 2 boys. Yeah, they'll be 20 in November.
Oh, wow, you got a 20-year-old girl. Look, y'all got some. Ooh, y'all make me feel old. Look.
No calculation. Yeah, they're 20. They'll be 20, and the light of my life, and they helped me get my act together, because I didn't know what to do. Singing was everything, to me. It still is. I love it, know. And I miss the days traveling with my sisters and song, and I always, think back, but yeah, like he had said, we had a plan B, and the advice we would give: be true to yourself, be true to your craft, and try to be as hands-on as possible, because it's your vision, and at the end of the day, it's your baby. It's all, what you put out there. So it's like you want to be remembered for what was true to you, and not necessarily what people tried to mold you to be. Right. And I think that makes a happier artist when you got this art inside and you want to express it, you know, in its naturalist form. So, you know, that's pretty much, you know, what I would put out there to the ones that want to follow and, you know. Right. Yeah.
I appreciate that. We do got a question for somebody on the IG Live. They're asking how George Michael, because I know today we're talking about lately it's the anniversary of that, but they're asking how did George Michael react when he heard your version of One More Try?
Did Ruben ever give us that information?
I think he did, and I think he was very pleased with it. But it was a while ago. But you know, the label that we were signed to with Ruben Rodriguez, he originally worked the George Michael project. He was the reason why George Michael even crossed over into the black radio, the black world, you know. And he made that entire musical journey, you know, for George Michael. He was the power behind it. So knowing how special that song was, he wanted us to do the remake on George Michael. So I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that he was playing the full version that we did.
Oh, and rest in peace to George Michael, because you know I know he definitely was an intricate in the music industry back in the 80s, and I know he was huge for pop. And also, guys, I know today is August 25th, and we're talking about Lately Hit, but you know today is the day that we lost the beautiful and talented Aaliyah. God rest her soul. Do you have any memories of knowing her, or what type of the music that you liked about her, or like what did you know about Aaliyah back in your time when you were growing up in the 90s?
We did not meet Aaliyah as a group, but we are all fans of her music. And one of my favorite songs from Aaliyah was "Rock the Boat." And that was the video that she was shooting, I believe, at the time of her death. Yeah. But it was like an amazing song. Right. So, you know, may she rest in peace. But she seemed to be a great soul, you know, beautiful person, seemed inside and out, and she's very gifted and talented.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Do y'all have any memories, Nikki or Tanya, of Aaliyah?
No. Well, I do remember when we were going to Hot 97 and they was playing Are You That Somebody on the radio, and I think she was like promoting that, and didn't meet her, but when we walked by, Kia and Nikki used to get me for this. Everyone I saw, because I didn't feel like I was a star, I just felt like I was this big, not groupie, but everybody I saw was like, and they used to be like, stop acting like that. and so I do remember when I saw her talking, you know, she was doing her interview, and I just said, and she was so sweet, she just was like, and that's pretty much all the memory, yeah.
I do remember that. She was doing her interview at Hot 97. We were doing our interview at BLS, and that's
they're in the same building. Well, at the time, for sure.
That's what's his name with the really, really deep voice? If you see down the street, I start to cry. What was his name?
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, and you know Isaac Hayes and I had the same birthday. Yes. So yes, I remember that day, and she was just very cool, and she was going to walk past. That is correct. That is correct.
So we walked in Tanya waved. Okay, I don't remember that day, but I'm sure happy.
Well, I think that's great because too, y'all also were competing with Leah too, and like y'all beat her too. So like you guys really, you're. I think if you know now to this day, I think if your people in the music industry had to really describe y'all in one word, I would say timeless for Lately, because that was a timeless classic record, and I think it just still speaks the test of time of how that song really resonates with so many people, and for that song to be 22 years old and it's still going on and people still talk about it, it's just very huge. And I know 98 was a big year. I mean, you guys beat Lauryn Hill.
Woo!
Today's the day of her album, the day it dropped.
All due respect, Lauryn, we love you.
So yeah, I think that's just really amazing, guys. And I do have another question. Do you ladies have any upcoming projects or anything that you want to promote? Talking about now, since now, from then to now, since y'all are definitely in new stages in your life, or anything that you want to help promote?
It's funny because we talk about it. I think we talk about it every year. We're doing a Divine album every year, right?
Fingers crossed.
We're going to find the time because, Tanya has twin boys, right? Tia has her 3 young girls, and then I have my 2 teenagers. All of our kids are in different stages of life. Mm-hmm. And then, when you think about being a mom and your responsibilities as a mom, that really takes over.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are we going to have time to break away? And we're all over the place, right? So we're not even in the same state at this point. But we have talked about grouping our resources and making some things happen. And we are putting things back on the table to do a Divine album, right? So there's no rush, but we want to do it now. You know what I mean? We want to do it. We know that lately is our legacy for our children, but we can do more, right? And then we can also do more with them as well, because our kids are very talented as well.
That's really great. That's really, really great.
Whatever we do, we'd love to incorporate them, whether it be an album, whether it be some type of short mini-series, reality. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we do have a story that we still like to share.
Exactly.
With our fans, with the people. I think that it can be very encouraging for people to see, for other upcoming artists, for just young women, just to see, and just we want to inspire them. We also we want to share, because a lot of people's like, well, what happened to them? Where are they? What's going on? Like, we want to tell you.
Yeah, they have Black Twitter knows. Black Twitter be asking. They be like, where is this group at? I'm like, Lord, Black Twitter, you can't get away from Black Twitter. They will find you.
Black Twitter, we want to get down and dirty and tell you the real. We're going to get it to you.
We had so many experiences. We were in Atlanta. We were about to do Good Morning Atlanta, right? And then we got a call like, hey, let's go out, right? So we didn't know where we were going, right? We didn't even have clothes to wear, right? We had video clothes. We had the scene in now, think about it, the scene in Lacey's video, the very last scene where we're there with the band, and I had on my little green skirt because I love that skirt. So we were dressed up in lately gear, right? We didn't have any other clothes.
At the club.
We just knew we were going to the club because we need people on the road. We're just working. So
right.
We snuck out, right? So we had this whole intricate plan. We got dressed, and our manager was in the next room. So on our way to sneak out of the room, she thought she was surprising us, and then she saw us fully dressed, and she was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And we jumped out of the patio door. Yes, it was awful. But then we really did have a good time at the end of the day. But we got in that car, and Tanya didn't come with us because there was a child lock on the door, and she couldn't open the door. Like, we couldn't open the door from the inside. And so we were supposed to tell her, open the door. And she just wasn't really hearing us. She was...
Oh, no.
Trying to get us out of the car. And we ended up at Club 112, right?
Okay.
So, they did not even check our ID. We're like, oh, we're from New York. We don't have ID, right? So they let us in the club anyway. In the club, right? So there's a publicist there, and she's like, Divine, and we're like, please don't tell anybody we snuck out. Like, we just wanted to have a normal evening.
We were very sheltered on the road. We were really sheltered on the road, believe it or not. Like, yes, we were.
Well, Tanya, how did you get out of the thing? How did you get out? Did you get out by the window? Well, how did she get out?
It was a patio.
The patio door.
We always snuck out. We snuck to get our first tattoos in California.
Yeah.
Oh,
snuck
man.
Out on Sunset Boulevard to go get tattoos.
Snuck out when we were in Malaysia.
Now, Tanya, now I feel some kind of way, because now Kia and I are looking like misfits. You didn't even come.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all go. I will be right.
Yeah.
She didn't even come. Yeah,
it was never a dull moment, I tell you.
Wow.
These ladies are so much fun. the stuff you see on the reality shows, I mean, I lived a real reality show back in, what, 99? These ladies, they're the best, honestly.
That's so sweet.
But it's a lot of funny stories,
We had some good times. We had some good times.
Y'all sound like y'all did. Y'all sound like y'all had a lot. I tell people all the time, 90s to me is like the best era, decade. I said y'all had all the fine men. Y'all had all the nice clothes, the clubs, everything, and music. But if I had to ever go back in the time, it would be the 90s. Because I always tell myself, I said, if I ever go back to the 90s, I would have probably been pregnant at 16. Because y'all had all the fine men. I said, y'all had everybody. Y'all had everybody. And that's just me. But, yeah, ladies, I really appreciate y'all telling y'all story. Because I think people definitely need to listen to it. And I think with Divine, people, just because y'all were a part of the big 90s era, y'all song really, really did make a hit. And so, you got people on the line. It's like, can we get another album, please? People are asking for the album. They are asking for the album. And also, Christopher, the guy who directed your video, One More Try, he says hello. So.
Hey, Christopher,
yes, they're on the line.
Chris, that's all right, Chris. Stay in touch.
That is so nice.
Yeah, they want that album. They talking. They like, can we get another album? And somebody go, please, like all the way across.
We had songs recorded. We were recording into our second album. We really were. And some songs that are timeless even today. So we're prepared. We're definitely prepared.
I'm excited. I have a question for you, ladies. Are you gonna still try to get Fairy Tales like on other digital platforms and stuff?
I think that's something we can look into. And try.
Definitely, for sure.
It won't hurt to definitely look into that and try. I mean, I even wanted, because when you're in it, you really don't think it's gonna end. So we've had tons and tons of CDs and cassettes, and you just give them away to your family members. You sign them, give them away.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're like, wait, I don't have one. And I lucked up and ordered one from Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
It was a used one. And my daughter broke it. So, And that was the only one.
We do have that.
Oh,
yeah, you gotta show the plaque, ladies. Yes, the plaque. Yay! I love that. And since we are talking about lately, we can't talk about the music video. How did y'all feel about the music video, and what did you think about the impact it made? And do you know that your music video was the staple of Midnight Love BET? Rolling Stones did say that.
Wow. That's huge coming from Rolling Stones. So the Lately video was shot down in the Bayou in Louisiana.
Yeah, I know. Woo-hoo, where I'm from.
Shout out to Akua.
Video, yes.
We had a great time down there, and I just remember, I was telling the girls, they had us in all kinds of crazy outfits that we didn't want to wear. We're like, what's going on with this cummerbund, not the little vest with the tie and these. I'm like, this is I'm from Berkeley. We don't dress like this. You know what I mean? Like, what's up with the dresses? Well, we did it, and I think at that point, we were young. We really wanted to look like the girl next door, but they were creating something much bigger. And a lot of new artists make that same mistake. We have our own way of or our own vision of how we want to be. The label, they have their own vision. So it's so that we don't get caught up being like everybody else, and we ended up being trendsetters, which was absolutely amazing. So that video, just the scene of that video, being down in the bayou, people after us came back and shot their video with that same backdrop.
Yeah, Beyonce, Deja Vu.
Even the kids from our video in their video.
Yes, they did.
Girl, let me tell you. So
shout out to Deborah Cox.
Woo! That's my girl.
We love her.
Yeah.
We do love her. Amazing voice. So that video was definitely a game changer for us, and we really took our time casting for that video because we wanted to make sure we had very unique pieces in that video. From the guitar that the one of the musicians was holding in the video to the people in the video.
Yeah.
So it was just we took our time casting for that video.
Right, definitely for sure. Yeah, somebody in the comments said I love that style y'all had. I do too, because like I said, for me, y'all were really like, you remind me of Brandy, like Girl Next Door, you know, very sweet, very innocent. And like I told y'all too, I was like, look, I'm thinking R&B when you write love songs. So I'm like, oh, passionate. But, you know, I be forgetting y'all people too. So y'all about that life. So I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, I got to think, you know, these are still human beings too. But I think in so many ways, with Lately being such a timeless and classic song, do you have like, can you describe one word about Lately? What does Lately mean to you ladies? What does Lately mean to you? The song.
One word?
Mm-hmm.
Passion.
Wow. What'd you say?
Passion.
Passion.
That's one word. Love.
Love.
What would you say?
What it means for me now, I would definitely say legacy. Definitely.
That's
legacy.
real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have company, guys. I can't get rid of my shadow.
Hey, little one.
But I can't get rid of her, so.
That's all right. She's a divinette.
Divinette.
You're absolutely right, Nikki. I mean, legacy, for sure. Like, we could stick with that one word right there and just...
Yes.
Yeah, and people in the comments, they're saying timeless.
Nothing will happen.
For sure, timeless. I mean, this is something that we will have forever. You know, a lot of people don't get an opportunity to make a record. They don't get an opportunity to put out a record. They don't, even if they get a chance to put out a record, then not everybody's going number one.
Yeah.
You know, I remember doing the Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards, right? And I remember an artist saying, and I won't say the person's name, but they said, I'm nominated every year and I have never won a Lady of Soul Train Award. Never won that. You know, and it's like, okay, so you can get number one in the charts, you can go platinum, but you're not good enough for a Lady of Soul Award, or you're not good enough for a Grammy. We were nominated for a Grammy. So we didn't get the Grammy, we were nominated. But it's like so many levels to this achievement, to this game, you know what I mean? So it's like, we did it. We 3 girls from the hood, because I don't care where you're from in Jersey, it's from the hood. Like,
okay.
So, you know, 3 girls from the hood, and we did it. You know, we did it, and nobody expected it. And I remember someone, you know, coming to me, you know, from our community, and they're like, yeah, Nikki, so what's up with that album? Like, so you still singing? Yeah, you still recording? I'm like, yeah, it's coming along. You know what I mean? Like, what else am I supposed to say? We're working, you know? And next thing you know, out of nowhere, we were in college at the time, and we flew out to Oakland to record, and they were like, you guys are not going back. This is it, you know? So it was definitely a fairy tale. That's why we named the album Fairy Tale, because it was a fairy tale. Like, it just happened, you know? And it was, you know, we worked hard for it, but, you know, it was just an amazing experience that we will always have. And when people say things like, we talked about this earlier, when people say things like one-hit wonder, right? So you really do have to try it a second time around and say, oh, it only happened for you one time, and your second time was a flop. That was not Divine's story, right? So Divine had a hit, and that's just what it was. Right. You know, and we didn't get the opportunity for a second chance because of what happened with the name. But it doesn't mean that it can't never happen again, you know? Right. So we're not a one-hit wonder. We had one hit. I'm okay with that, because One More Try was gold, and it had absolutely no push behind it. So our project was a success. Whether you call it a success, and I'm not saying you, Chastity, I'm just saying whether, you know, the people out there had a success, it really doesn't matter. We know that it was a success, and we worked hard for it.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry to be so long-winded. Sometimes I don't stop.
Oh, no. People are, guys, because people are really loving your interview today, and they really, really are understanding. They give you so much love and so much props. And Christopher, he's like, hey, he said, hey, you guys. And you know, people are really, really proud of you guys' legacy. And like I said, for me, it's a timeless classic. The album is timeless, and I hope and pray that it does go to like Spotify title. Like, we want to see that, because I know it's available on Apple iTunes in the UK, but I really wanted to definitely like really be here in the US, because I mean, I still play Lately to this day. I mean, they play it all the time every year for, you know, holidays and stuff. So your song still impacts a lot of people. So regardless, like, I love you.
I mean, I just want to say thank you to you on behalf of all of us, because I must say, I mean, we've lived the life of stars. We've lived the life of mothers.
Yeah.
We've been students. We've been teachers. And coming from that life, somewhat normal, is a big deal. Like, it's not easy. That transition is not easy.
Right.
I mean, when I transitioned to the normal life and started to work a regular job, I remember still hearing our song on the radio.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, and then it makes you, you know, so people like you and our fans out there still giving us some love and support, you know, very encouraging. And just have to say thank you.
Thank you.
No
keeping
problem.
us alive and keeping our song going. It's just amazing, and we really appreciate it from the bottom of your heart.
Oh.
Thank you.
Anytime.
And
And we gotta thank Trick Daddy too, because Trick had played it this year, so he Valentine's Day, y'all with the theme.
I have no idea. Thank you so much. If you're
Anytime.
watching this, if it gets to you, call us.
Trick will be probably glad, girl. He don't, girl. Trick is just a whole mess. He is just hilarious, but I'm just so proud of y'all, and you ladies, thank you so much. And you, like I told you guys, you ladies are my first ever female interview ever in history. So you will definitely go down the books for me as my first interview with you ladies. So I'm just very blessed and proud. I was telling all my friends about it. I was telling my homegirl, I was like, you gotta watch the interview with Divine. You remember they song back in the day? She was like, yeah, I remember that. I was like, yeah, you was, because she's the same age as y'all, so she's around the age group y'all were in. So for me, you know, for y'all, like this lady said online, continue to be great, because regardless of what happens, being in the ministry or not, you still hold an impact to this day. And like I said, I'm definitely going to send you those articles with a lot of people that really talk highly about y'all, because you really, I want you ladies to know that your accomplishments are not, you know, wasted. They are recognized, and we love you on Midnight Love BET. So for me, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for doing this for me. And to all the fans out there, thank you so much for tuning into the live. And do you ladies have any last words to all your fans and everybody for lately being 22 years old today, and anything that you have to say before we get off the live?
Nick, Tanya,
I'm just grateful again, Chessie. I can't say enough how much we appreciate you. From the moment you hit me up, you know. And I think it's cool. My information is very public, you know, because I know that people like to ask questions, you know, how can I do this? You know, what can I do to help myself? So I invite people to send me emails if they have questions. You know, I'm available. But again, if this is what you want to do, you want to be in the entertainment industry, follow your dream. You know, there's so many outlets. You know, don't give up on it. Go for it. But have a passion for it. And you have to also be a student, right, in order to understand what's happening, right? So if you come into this business thinking you know it all, you will get burned. You must be a student at the same time. Okay. So that will help you along.
And we've had artists that's been that way, Nick, correct? And we don't see them right now.
That happens.
we don't see them.
It happens. I mean, I agree with you ladies. It happens so much. And Kia,
artists that we worked with, you know, and they just came in thinking they knew it all. And we're like, listen, we've been there, done that, and just like she said, be a student, correct?
Definitely.
And Nikki also said passion. Do not go into this business just because you want to make money. Because let me tell you, you're going to be waiting for a long time. You have the passion.
Right, exactly.
And I listen, so So I'm going to put it out there because everybody's probably waiting. They want to hear us sing. So we're not singing. And
yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there because we are in different states. And we tried the singing together and trying to sync, but it's a major delay. And we harmonize. And we want to give you, you know, our best. So we're not going to sing collectively, but we are going to make up for that. We're going to put something together so Midnight Love, BET can post it, and we got you. But y'all know.
Yeah, somebody just said, okay, fine. They was waiting too. They were waiting. Oh, they singing. No, I'm happy. Thank you, ladies, for making that announcement. Miss Tanya, do you have any words before we get off the live?
Just thank y'all so much. Just like the ladies say, you know, for making us feel so relevant till this day, you know, 22 years later, and just for honoring us in this way. And we're just very thankful. And you really sparked something, and we're going to get together and see what we can do.
And
thank you for the encouragement.
I would definitely, and I'll be right there supporting because I support R&B. R&B is here to stay forever and a day. And I'm just so proud, and thank you so much, ladies, for your timeless song lately. And I'm definitely going to be playing it all day today. Like, I've been doing it all day. And thank you. And like I said, also, too, and for sure, when you definitely looking on YouTube, especially look at the comments, because you have beautiful comments what people say about y'all as well. So every time your videos or any song that gets posted, y'all, I would definitely want y'all to look in those comments because people have beautiful words to say about y'all. They really, really miss y'all in the industry. So congratulations, guys. 22 years old today. Platinum selling R&B trio, Divine. Thank you so much. And when you do send that harmonic sound of lately, just let me know and DM me. Guys, thank you so much for coming on live with me. Midnight Love BET. We are out, and peace. Bye.